Alright, it is the end of the day. I know you want to go home, everybody wants to go home at the end of the day, but it is important that you clean the machine at the end of the shift. It's very critical because as much as we try to make everything dust proof, the dust will always make it where we don't want to. So for that reason, we have created a cleaning program that will make it easier for the operator to clean the machine at the end of the day. And it's very simple. It's just like when you start a program recipe. You go on the recipe screen and then you select the cleaning program, cleaning. This program is nothing special. We just send it to the machine, just like you start normally a program. I sent it, I go to the work screen, press the green button, and hold the positioning button for the machine to position. This program is nothing more than a program that will open up the machine all the way and set the unit in a park position that will make it easier for the operator to access the machine and blow clean the areas that are critical to the machine. Obviously, like I said, the dust will go around everywhere. It will get in places that you don't want to, and you definitely do not want the dust to sit overnight into these components because the machine is self-lubricated and the dust will bond with the oil overnight and make it really harder to clean if you try to do it the next day. For that reason, we always recommend to do the cleaning at the end of the shift and not at the beginning of the next one. So we keep holding the button just like you normally do when you start a program. This is absolutely nothing different. You just wait. She's just opening up to a position that is wide enough to make it comfortable to go in the center. And we're almost there. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop the program because in reality we're not gonna use it, so I hit the stop button. Now, important is to put the key in safety mode. We turn the key into safe mode. Of course, keep the key in your pocket so nobody can accidentally start the machine while you're there. And then you come to the door, and after about 30 seconds, the machine will unlock the doors. So far it's still holding it. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so just grab your air nozzle and you're gonna have to blow all the critical parts, such as the screws. You're gonna want to blow the screws clean. You're gonna want to blow the rails. Yeah. It's gonna get noisy if I keep going, but essentially you're gonna blow all the moving components. Rails are critical components, the dovetails, the screws. These are all components where the machine moves up and down, in and out, all the time. You definitely do not want dust accumulation in it, especially because, as I explained earlier, this machine has a self-lubrication system, and oil it's placed on these components automatically by the machine, and you do not want dust to bond with it. After you have blown both sides of the inside of the machine, you're going to want to get in the middle, and it is very important to blow up the top pressure belt system. There is a lot of moving components, air cylinders and springs, so don't be shy, just go close to it. And give it a good blast. Next thing you're going to want to clean is the main shaft. This is what holds the machine square. It is very important to keep it clean. And then lastly but not least, you're going to have to clean the rails. The whole shoulder sits on these rails, and the last thing we want is for those rails to get dusty and dust start entering the linear bearings. So you're going to have to clean it. Give it a good clean also to the rack that moves the shoulder. And then repeat over here. And that's how you're supposed to end every shift by doing this. Now, let's talk about the weekly maintenance. Because once a week you will have to do also something more, which is the weekly maintenance. And where is the dry lubricant spray? Oh, okay. Very good. Once a week, at the end of the week, ideally, most people it's at the end of Friday, depends upon if your factory runs 4 days or 5 day shift. But at the end of the week, you have to grab a dry lubricant spray. And you have to make sure that it's a dry lube. We don't want to spray sticky stuff all over the machine. Last thing we want is to have dust sticking where we don't want it to stick. You do not spray anything on the machine. I repeat this, you don't spray like this on the machine, never. You just spray on the cloth and you spray a good quantity. Inside this can there is a lot of solvents that they maintain this dry lubricant in a liquid state so that it can be sprayed. We don't want those solvents to get into the gaskets of the machine. And we wipe the shaft. We have to wipe it clean very well. We want it to be nice and shiny. I'm gonna do also the bottom side. Clean bottom as well. This will create a slippery coat onto the shaft, but you need to make sure you do not leave any residue. You want to make sure that the shaft is perfectly shiny. Then you're going to repeat the same operation on the floor, on the rails. Again, you do not spray directly on the rails. We don't want what's inside this can to go directly onto the bearings. When you grab the rail, you have to pinch it from the sides, and you do this. And it's really yucky. It's a lot of yuck that comes out. So I always do it twice. And again, you pinch the rail, and then you just go forward. Let's do also this one. And I reiterate what I already said, just to make sure that we're clear. You do this at the end of the week. If you let the dust sit on the rail over the weekend and you come back the next Monday and try to do this, you're gonna have to scrape the rail to get it clean. Whereas if you do at the end of the week, the dust hasn't bonded with the oil, and it will come clean very easily. So make sure at the end of the week to do this operation. You're watching me doing it right now, you see how quick it is. It's just dry lube, you pass it, make sure you pinch. Okay, so you heard me saying multiple times that this machine has a self-lubrication system. You just have to keep an eye for it. You have an oil reservoir here, one is hidden down here, and another one is here. So you have 3 different oil reservoirs that you need to keep an eye on. The machine will signal you whenever they are empty, but it's always a good practice when you see it being about halfway, like this one right now. It's about time to refill it and put the new oil in it, so you prevent air bubbles from being sucked into the system. Keep in mind that the machine requires a super small amount of lubrication, so every about 5 rotations of the shaft, the machine puts 1 drop of oil in each chain. If you have an air bubble that enters the system, the air bubble is going to cause pressure indifferences. The machine is going to keep giving you a weird alarm for the next 2 weeks, because it's going to take about 2 weeks for the bubble to run through the whole system, 1 drop at a time. every so many minutes. So again, keep an eye on your oil reservoirs. You have this one down here, and you can see this one is good. Then you have one here and one there. It's 3 reservoirs. Make sure they never run empty. Do your weekly cleanup with the dry lube, and remember, at the end of the shift, give a nice clean to the machine with the blowgun, and the machine will run better. Thank you for watching all these instructions. I hope that I was clear enough in explaining this machine. Thanks for choosing FRIULMAC. Ciao!